Hello, everyone. Welcome to this fantastic session. 2026 has begun on a very high note. IndusInd has brought the banger offer on their credit card, IndusInd Avios credit card. The good part about this card is we have done the detailed review on our channel. You can watch that video. And in today's session, we will discuss about Avios. Hence, the episode is called Avios Panchayat. We will also understand the joining benefit, what you're getting, whether it's worth to apply this card or not, and what is our strategy. And the most important thing in this session, we will discuss about some of the amazing redemption, what you can score with Avios. So let's begin with Avios Panchayat.
Hi guys, welcome to the first Panchayat session for Avios and let's kickstart with a big banger. So here we go. Can you see
Okay.
the screen?
Yes. So just let us know if you are able to see the screen and whether the screen is clear or not. Okay. So the most important thing, what we have realized with IndusInd Avios credit card, it's a secret tax payment credit card, guys. Okay, this card is a beautiful card, doesn't have many exclusion, and in fact, this card gives point on tax payment also and rent payment also. If you had seen our review, what we had done 6 months ago, the link for the same is in the description. We covered all this aspect, and with the joining benefit now doubled. The earlier it was 20,000, now it's 40,000. With this strategy, only on paying taxes and rent, you can score 84,000 Avios miles. Basically, it is divided into three parts. 40,000 is the joining benefit, what you can get. 20,000 is usual, and 20,000 is a time based. Basically, this offer is applicable till 31st Jan. You have to apply this card. You have to apply this card, and you have to spend 5,000 within 30 days. You will get additional 20,000 points. So that makes 40,000 joining benefit. And this card gives you a fantastic milestone benefit also. You get 18,000 bonus obvious miles on spending first 8 lakh rupees, and on second 8 lakh, again, you get 18,000. So 40 plus 36, that makes you 76. And this card, as I said, give points on tax payment and rent. The reward rate is low, one reward point on 200 points, but that gives you 8,000 reward points on entire 16 lakh spends. So if you are someone who doesn't have premium cards like HSBC Premier or Magnus, or even those HDFC through which you can pay rent, this card can be a very good option to pay rent. And also, if you are salaried guy and you don't get Biz Black or not able to get premium cards for tax payment, this can be your secret tax payment credit card. So with this strategy of spending 16 lakhs with the joining bonus, you can score 84,000 Avios miles easily. That is fantastic. And we will show you how you can use these miles and for some of the best redemptions in the world. Now let's understand whether you want to apply this card or not. The card is actually a no-brainer to apply with the bonus points. You're basically getting 40,000 Avios miles on paying 10,000 plus GST. Technically, you're buying one Avios at only 25 paisa. That's amazing, guys. You will not find such kind of deal anywhere. And this is a banger offer by IndusInd and Avios. Though it's a time-based, it is applicable till Jan 31. Now, you can apply this card. The link for the same has been put in our description. And we are bringing an offer for all the people who are applying through our link. They will get 1 month premium membership of our channel. That is Night of the Realm level. That will be for 1 month. We will give you this membership as free if you apply this card. The value of this is, we will talk in detail. Abhishek will explain what you can get with this membership. But why this card becomes a must apply card? Just you leave aside the other benefits, but the joining benefits itself is 40,000 Avios. Second, this card gives you 2 international meet and greet. This is a fantastic proposition. Like if you have someone who has premium cards in India, can use meet and greet for traveling from India to outside India. And when you are outside India, for example, you're traveling from India to France. If you are in France, you can use this meet and greet functionality easily. Though count is only two, basically, if you are two people traveling, you and your spouse both can use at the same time. As I said, this card is very effective for rent and tax payments. You can earn 84,000 points easily. Now, if you want to understand this card in more detail, we have done the entire detailed review. Do watch what are the good part about this card. And also, this card can be effectively used for different purposes, as I mentioned, on rent and tax payment. So it's a must have card, and the eligibility criteria is also very low. You need an ITR of 12 lakhs to 15 lakhs, depending upon the either you're employed in private sector or government employee, and you can get this card. We will also take your question on the eligibility, but before that, we will move into the redemption part. And also, Abhishek will explain the night of the film benefits.
Thanks, Dushank. So, guys, before we move on to the redemption part, let's focus a bit on the benefit that you will get from this card if you take it via Raw and Real Finance. So, first of all, we will be offering you 1 month membership for Night of the Realm level. Now, people who have been with us for a long period of time, they would know that through Night of the Realm, you have access to the premium videos as well that we do. And some of the videos have yielded a lot of value to the subscribers. Our gold, secret gold webinar and the Accor hack, secret Accor hack webinar have actually yielded value in, if not in thousands, even in lakhs. And I know a couple of our premium subscribers have actually minted value even more than 20 lakh rupees only from the gold webinar. We very conservatively estimate that you will at least be able to save at least 10,000 rupees of value or get 10,000 rupees of value from the Night of the Real membership, even if you get it for 1 month. So this is like a no-brainer offer, both from IndusInd Bank as well as from Raw and Real Finance. So you don't have to wait too much and don't think about it too much. Just go ahead and apply from the link, and you will get the benefit as soon as your card is approved, and we can verify your card has been approved. Moving on, we will also now talk about some of the fantastic redemption options that we have tried to cover in our presentation going forward. Now, the caveat here is that we have talked only about few options here right now, and there are far many options and far more complicated itineraries that you can actually create. What we have tried to focus here is some of the routes which are either India focused or are very popular among either the Indian travelers or Indian NRIs. So those are some of the routes, and these are ones where you can easily get 1 rupee or almost 1 rupee or sometimes even more than 1 rupee value for each Avios. Now, one of the most fantastic thing about the Avios universe is that Avios is via multiple airlines. So you have the British Airways, which is the mother airline. Then you have Iberia, which is the Spanish airline. Aer Lingus, the Irish airline. Then you have Finnish, which is the Finnair. And then you have Qatar Airways, which has also joined. And very soon, I think Oman Air will also be using Avios in the year to come. And then you have air fueling as well. So based on that, you get access to multiple hubs via the Avios universe. Also, British Airways has a very close relationship with Qantas, despite having the One World Alliance. So there are a lot of options on Qantas which are directly available on British Airways, and the rates are very reasonable, both from the mileage as well as from the tax perspective. There are certain number of sweet spots. Some of them are relevant to us Indians, and some of them are not. But we'll still try to cover some of the options, and we'll talk a bit more in detail. What we have tried to do here is that we have put on some screenshots. Obviously, this all depends on availability and exact dates. But yeah, you will get through the screenshots, you will get some idea on which are the routes and what are the kind of mileages that are required. I have personally done redemption on Finnish Air, Avios, and I've also done redemption on Qatar Air. So those are the two airlines which I have used personally. Though initially, when I started my air miles journey back in 2012, I was not a big fan of Avios because of the tax reasons. But yeah, and sometimes the taxation on economy tickets may not be very lucrative. But if you see together with the Avios miles, you will obviously get almost a 1 rupee value. So that makes it a very valuable currency. And it is very easy to accumulate, especially now with multiple banks like HSBC, Axis Bank, HDFC, Amex was always there. And then you have the Accor partnership and the Marriott partnership where you can actually easily transfer. And it will give you the access to the entire one world realm of airlines, which will include airlines like Alaska Air as well and American Airlines, which are very valuable sometimes when you are doing intra-US redemptions. So let's do a bit of deep dive on which all routes we have covered. Now, there were a couple of questions from our audience yesterday about India, Australia, and I also added intra-Australia routes because that's a very good sweet spot given Australia is a very big country. Similarly, we have also covered intra-US, which is by American Airlines in Alaska on the Avios bird. We will also talk about India, Hong Kong, because that's a very popular route for Indian tourists. India, Finland, while I don't have the screenshots available with me right now, but I will share my own experience, which I have done. And again, intra-Europe, it has good availability, especially for Indians, even Finnish Air is there. Finally, two new routes that I have added is India, South Africa, and India, Egypt, because these are also very touristy countries and people want to really visit these kind of exotic countries to see the pyramids or see a lot of wildlife and natural beauty in South Africa. So I've added these, and these are very easily accessible via Qatar Airways. So let's go on and deep dive. Just the caveat which I've mentioned already, these are not super optimized and not for CC geeks. Obviously, you can optimize it via multiple sources, but these are ones which you can do it yourself and you don't need anybody's help, even if you do a bit of basic research. And that's why we have included these routes. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about India Australia. I think this is one of the most popular among the Avios fanatics because even when you were traveling within Australia, domestic flights are not that cheap sometimes, and the country is really big. I realized when I was actually trying to book for Australia a couple of years back, though I didn't go, and I thought that Sydney Melbourne would be like a 1 hour flight, but then I realized it is as big as like Delhi Bombay flight. But on the map, it looks very small. Similarly, Melbourne to Perth or Sydney to Perth are big distances, or even if you want to go to Adelaide from the southeast coast, it is a big distance. So, therefore, this is where exactly the Avios miles actually come in handy. And you can easily use, you can simply go to British Airways, you can log in and you will be able to search. When you search any intra-Australia flight, like I've done Perth and Melbourne here, return, that the number of miles required are 25,000 plus 8,400. But the ticket itself is costing 47,000. Now, obviously, this is a January ticket, onward flight, and return flight is in October. So I was just trying to do a wild search here, but I have done multiple searches on this route, and I realized that even if you're doing Melbourne to Gold Coast or Melbourne to Adelaide or any other city, you will get fantastic value, especially if you want to go to Tasmania, which is where I was planning. Melbourne to Tasmania or Sydney to Tasmania, I was getting more than 1 rupee value on my Avios. And one of the fantastic things about British Airways is if you have a child less than 2 years, normally you would have to pay 10% of the revenue ticket for the infant. But in this case, you can pay 10% of the miles that are required. So let's say 25,000 miles are required for an adult. You will then only pay 2.5 miles for the infant. So people with young kids, I think it's fantastic value, and you can get as high as 8 economy tickets available in the same flight. So people who have, let's say, 3 or 4 people traveling together, or more than 4 people also, it is a fantastic way to use your miles, and this is real value for money. That's why this is the first option that I've shared. Moving on, now if you want to go from India to Australia, I think that was the question. While this is one example, but I've recently seen that the number of seats that are available have started to become a bit rarer. Earlier, I was Qatar Airways Gold, so I was able to see more flights because Qatar Airways shows more to the Gold members and above. But right now, I'm a Silver, so I can see this flight. You can actually do a return redemption on 160,000 in business. So India to Australia and Australia to back to India. So you will have to do a bit of search, but yeah, 80,000 for Qsuite. People are mad about Qsuite, right? People have been asking questions about Qsuite, even though it's not nothing very stellar. But if you really want to do Qsuite on a long distance journey, go to Doha from Delhi or Bombay or Bangalore, and then from there you go take a longer flight to Melbourne. You will enjoy Qsuites a lot. And since I did not have enough points in my account, so you are seeing 124,000 is actually required for buying the miles also. But otherwise, it would be like 65,000 rupees that you have to pay as taxes. If you look at a comparison, you are actually, this ticket itself is worth around 6.2 lakh rupees, one business class ticket. Normally, you can easily get 2 business class tickets in Q Suites here. Imagine 6.2 lakh rupees worth of ticket you are getting for 160,000 my views plus 65,000 rupees. So this is almost 2, 3, 4 rupee value that you can get on a Q Suite.
So
Yeah, Roshan,
Abhishek, one thing is there. So with the IndusInd Avios credit card, if they follow the strategy of only rent payment and the tax payment, they can get 84,000 Avios miles, which will cover at least one-way journey from Delhi to Melbourne or from Dubai to
yeah,
Melbourne. Where I think points requirement will be same. And that is
correct.
giving a value of close to 3 lakh rupees. That's a fantastic redemption, what I see.
So
Yes.
I was about to say that, Roshan. So let's say you take between two spouses, you take 2 cards, right? And you, let's say you have a small business or you have to pay a lot of capital gains tax, etc., and you just pay taxes. You don't do anything else. You just pay taxes. Or let's say one spouse pays taxes, and other spouse pays rent, right? And you are able to do 16 lakh for your specific use case, and you are able to save 84,000, 84,000. One person flies free. So what you have simply done is you have done an expense which you anyways had to do with the government. You got the 168,000 miles, which will
Miles.
sponsor one of your ticket, right? You only spend 155,000 miles more and 1.3 lakh rupees to get two people to Australia in business class in
Yeah.
Q suites,
Q
right?
Suite. And
And
the journey
and
is
it's the
typically
same.
20, 25 hours. So you're getting
Yeah,
the buck or all the points.
and you will get access to the Qatar lounge in Doha. Qatar lounges are very good. So among all the Middle Eastern carriers, actually I found the best lounge to be Qatar lounge, even better than Emirates first class lounge. So I can definitely say that because the way they have designed the lounge, the open spaces and everything is fantastic. And even before I stepped inside the UAE, I had taken a shower in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, as well as in Doha, because they have such extravagant lounges where you can change your clothes and shower and everything. So it's fantastic. And you also
Yeah.
get Wi-Fi. So this is a new feature which has started off. Obviously, you will remain connected and everything. That's another perk. This was not there when I was flying Qatar, I think last year, but this is
Yeah.
there now. Also, while I have not added the screenshot for Auckland, the same rate applies even for Auckland. Now, just to give a geography explanation, even from Melbourne to Auckland, it is another 4 hours. So if you are actually doing India, New Zealand, and this is something which I missed because I had booked Singapore Airlines. But if you actually do India to Auckland, you go to Doha, and from Doha it is even a longer flight, right? So somebody who really wants to enjoy Q suites, you can do that. And
Yeah.
Qatar Airways is one of the rare airlines which has some tie-up with the New Zealand government, and that's why they allow them to fly
Yep.
direct flights to New Zealand. Otherwise, it is
Yeah.
mostly Singapore Airlines or it is Air New Zealand or Qantas.
Yeah.
But Qatar is a
Correct.
Middle Eastern carrier which is doing this. So this is a fantastic redemption both for Australia as well as for New Zealand.
Yeah. So, guys, this is one of the business class redemption what we have shown. There are multiple economy class redemption also. We will show them and also we will talk about them as well. So, don't
Yeah.
worry, it's a mix of everything and it's across the globe, not even restricting to one continent. So, we have
Yeah.
tried to cover all the partners under Avios world and major sectors where Indians fly. So, those are
Yeah.
idea we have put in here. We
And
move to next slide.
the reason I did not include economy was that the values that I wanted to show here was so tremendous that I thought that people will say, "Acha, economy में तो कुछ मिल नहीं रहा, मजा नहीं आ रहा." But yeah, otherwise, yeah, let's move on to the next one. So this is a very interesting and a popular route. A lot of people go to Hong Kong, right? Even for let's say concerts, etc. I remember one of our friends actually last year wanted to go to some concert in July in 2025, and he asked me, "यार route मेरे को ढूंढ कर दो." So that time I realized that this is one of the options that you can actually use. So I've taken Mumbai to Hong Kong. The revenue ticket somewhere around 50 to 53,000. Again, the dates are for July, but yeah, dates would normally fluctuate. I've taken the rates from Google Flights for all flights here, or from the airline app itself. So if you see, and they also had 6 tickets available. So let us say you are a big family, right? You want to take your parents or your in-laws, etc., or let's say a couple of families together. You can get 6 to 8 tickets very easily on economy, right? So this is the economy rate. I also saw premium economy, also very competitive, almost 1 rupee plus value. You can also see there were 4 premium economy tickets, if I'm not wrong. So you will obviously have to make a choiceful decision whether you want to fly economy or premium economy. Let's say you're not getting all premium economy. Maybe if you have a slightly older kids, you can ask them to sit in economy, and while you and your spouse can actually sit in premium economy or business. So you can do a mix and match there. Again, 35,000 Avios plus 23,000 rupees. See, the rates definitely fluctuate and you can decide. But this is also one very easy route to do. You don't have to break your head कि अच्छा मैं ऐसे करूँ और वैसे करूँ, and you can just easily go and book the tickets directly. So what I've done is I've simply gone onto the British Airways site, and I moved, let's say I can move the points between the airlines. So British Airways acts as the hub, and Qatar and Finnish and Iberia, Vueling and Aer Lingus all act as a spoke. Very soon we will have Oman Air as well. That gives you the flexibility to move points between the airlines. Uh, it will always happen via British Airways.
Hmm.
And British Airways has the oldest engine. At the back end, the engine remains, the technology remains from British Airways because they are the owner of the Avios, the IAG group owns the Avios brand. Therefore, the search engine remains the same. The taxes are very airline specific. So normally British Airways I've seen has the highest taxes. Finnish, Qatar, Air, Iberian Air has lower taxes. So you will have to do a mix and match. And obviously, since you can move points, you can very easily search. Also, sometimes the British Airways engine does not work very well for all routes. So what you can also do is American Airlines, which has the world's, I think after United, it has one of the world's best search engines for reward flights, you can also create an American Airlines account and you can search for specific one world flights on American Airlines. And then, depending on the chart, you can actually call the specific airline, let's say Qatar or Finish, to book the tickets on phone. That can also happen. So, if let's say you are seeing a route which is there on American Airlines and availability is there, you can always do that and book your tickets. That will ensure that you are able to see all the flights which are not always visible on, let's say, Qatar or Finnish Airways app.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Abhishek, here interesting thing for people to know. If you directly try to redeem points on Cathay Pacific, your points requirements may be same, but taxes may be higher. So always do a check on Qatar with the same flight, what you're getting from
Yeah,
Cathay Pacific, the taxes will be lower. So this is one thing you will have to look into it. And this is one of the strategies what we are sharing today within same ecosystem, but the benefit is easier to on terms of taxes, lower taxes in Qatar versus Cathay Pacific. So
correct.
keep that
Correct.
in mind, guys.
Yeah. Now, this is one of the most interesting and one of the long-standing routes where you actually get great value on Avios. Now, it used to be even more fantastic. Now, it's not that fantastic, but yeah, still it is great value within continental US, because US again is a very big country, including North America. So let's say Vancouver, Montreal, etc. You can get great redemption options on American Airlines or on Alaskan Airlines. Especially if you really want to fly to Alaska to see some natural beauty or to Hawaii, while on the map it does not look that far off, but it is really far off. So imagine this: Los Angeles on the west coast, right? And even if it is a direct flight, it takes 4 5 hours. So it's a long journey, right? And the tickets are really expensive, especially in holiday season. So if you are trying to book that on a cash basis, it is almost 43,200 rupees. While on American Airlines via British Airways Avios, you are actually paying 45,000, including the 1,000 rupees tax. Now, the most fantastic thing about American Airlines is they only charge $5 as tax. There's no fuel surcharge. There's only $5 of tax on per ticket. So you are seeing a return flight, which is 44,000 avios plus $10. So that's the kind of value that you get when you are booking on American Airlines. You can choose any kind of combination. US has a large number of big airports, and American Airlines is one of the most significant airline there. So you can do that. And if you're flying to Alaska, then you will get even more value. You if you are flying to Guam or if you're flying to American Samoa, again, fantastic value. There's one more use case. If you are flying within the Caribbean, you actually only pay, I think, 10,000 avios plus taxes, which is even more fantastic value if you're flying within those Caribbean islands. I've not included that screenshot, but yeah, that can be also great value if somebody is flying to that region. Okay, before Shant, I close, I'll just share a couple of examples which I did personally. So I flew to Iceland last year and I had used Avios extensively for that purpose. Now, I was not able to get the direct flight to Reykjavik on either Qatar or on Finnish. So what I simply did was I booked Delhi to Helsinki on Finnish, and I think it was 21,000 points that time. Now it's showing as 28,000. But yeah, that was 21,000 then, and on economy. So I booked for economy, and from via Qatar, I booked Helsinki to Reykjavik for 12,000 points. It gives me the optionality to club them together. So total to reach Reykjavik per person, I only spent 33,000 points. And for return, I actually use Qantas. So that we'll talk about some other day. But only for 33,000 points in economy, plus I think 5 to 6,000 in total taxes, I was able to reach to Reykjavik in economy for 4 people, 33,000 per person. It was not too expensive as well, even if I was flying via economy. And that was one of the most fantastic redemptions because Helsinki airport gave me seamless connectivity, even though the PNRs were very different. And even the flight from Helsinki to Reykjavik is, I think, 4.5 hours. So it's not that close as well. So within Europe, you have different mileages. So up to 625 miles on flight distance, you actually get for 7,000 miles Avios. But if you are more than 625 miles, then you are going to spend 12 or 13,000 points on your redemption. But that's a fantastic redemption rate and very good availability up to, I think, 6 economy and 2 business class redemptions are very easy. And premium economy also, I think 2 or 3 are there on every flight. And there are plenty of flights. So it's a very good option. And if you're flying within Europe and you're coming via Helsinki, your Shenzhen check-in happens at Helsinki itself. So when you fly to your final destination, you walk out like a local, and so you don't have to worry about immigration at the last step.
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek. So, subscribers, just to summarize, first thing we talked about IndusInd Avios card, why the joining benefit is important, and how it is a must have card because of this joining benefit. Second, we talked about Avios universe. Again, we are not linking IndusInd Avios to this universe. You can actually use other cards also to transfer your Avios points, which you earn on Magnus or Atlas or HDFC. You can transfer to through them. You can use HSBC Premier. So, second part is overall because they are all are linked together as part of one world alliance where you can transfer to one partner and from that you can navigate to multiple places. Once you collect points across multiple spectrum, which can be through your access cards plus IndusInd card plus HSBC, you can pool all the points together and have an effective redemption. So we are nowhere linking only with IndusInd 84,000 miles, what we explained. That is one of the ways to earn, but you can also earn Avios through different ways. So basically, the idea is you look into the card prospect, then you look into your redemption prospect, and what makes sense, you can plan accordingly. And one of the reasons why we like Qatar is because sometimes taxes are also low on many sectors,
Yeah.
as Abhishek highlighted, like as small as in intra US it can be only 10 or $5 to $10 between the per flight. It's $5 basically for two way. It's a $10. Similarly, if you're booking through Qatar and you're traveling to Middle East or maybe like Egypt or somewhere, the taxes can be low. Or as I explained, if you're planning to Hong Kong, instead of booking through Cathay Pacific, you book through Qatar, the taxes will be low. So idea is to understand the entire universe. Yeah.
But thank you so much for your time. It was fantastic doing this session. And until next time, keep swiping, keep saving.